listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We're a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And then remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While we do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Celebrating today, National Groundhog Day. Yeah, Phil saw his shadow. 6 more weeks. Got that one. National Heavenly Hash Day today. Heavenly Hash. And National Tater Tot Day. Both of them. Heavenly Hash, though, that one looks pretty fascinating to me. Heavenly Hash. Whew. Looks like brownies and marshmallows and a lot of other good stuff. The only ingredient that seems for certain is a variety of marshmallows, marshmallow cream, or whipped cream. I guess I better move on with the broadcast, because if I sit here staring that all day, even just looking at it, people like me, having beaten anorexia, will gain weight just by looking at it. Hey, the markets, Dow Jones Industrial Average now up 607 points, up 607 right now as we speak to one another. Fascinating right there, watching what's going on in those markets. But we're also looking at S&P 500 up 67, the NASDAQ up 216, oil up $1.36 a barrel. Ow! Yeah, normally when something goes up, we don't have the ow button, but that means gasoline prices are on the upward swing as well. Yeah, $2.42 a gallon. Not in Venezuela. That's the national average. $2.11 a gallon. Not in Venezuela. That's what you pay in Mississippi. $3.33 a gallon. Strike three. Not in Venezuela. We get to pay $3.42 a gallon. Ow! Yeah, that's not a pleasant number, but that's where we are in Venezuela. Hey, maybe you know something. Have you signed yet for the Recall Governor Newsom campaign? Recall Newsom. Yeah, maybe if we get somebody else in the governor's seat, maybe we can start, maybe get back to work, maybe go out to a restaurant, maybe get our businesses back, maybe get our kids back in school. And maybe we can do some things to help with gas prices in Venezuela, being that we are about 9 cents a gallon higher than Hawaii. And Hawaii, they don't produce oil, their gas there. They have it shipped in from Venezuela, and they get to pay less than we're paying right here. Take a look at the bond market. The U.S. 10-year Treasury up 3 basis points. 1.109 means interest rates are probably going up a little bit, but we'll look at that in the next segment. The German 10-year is still giving a yield of negative 0.487. Japan is still basically getting nothing. At least you get your money back. So they get a 0.056 on their 10-year. And Italy, Spain, UK, they're all under 75 basis points. So not good on any of those fronts. What else is going on in the world today? A lot of fascinating information as I see it all the time. So we watch a lot of these different news stories just so we can share things that I find to be fascinating. You may not like them. You may not find them as fascinating as me. But, something I share them just as I see them. Little battle in the Democrat Party. Vice President Harris went to West Virginia. That's Joe Manchin's state, both Democrats. Yeah, Manchin didn't like the idea that Harris is trying to put a little pressure on him. Well, it's not going to work, though. I can tell you that because West Virginia voted for President Trump by 44 points. So I think Manchin, being more of a centrist, he's going to have a little more clout in West Virginia than Harris. We'll see what happens there, but I'm just my opinion as to what's going to happen. They're not going to end up well for the president and vice president, especially as they tell the coal miners, you don't need a job. Go find something else to do. They're making good money. But hey, something? You could be replaced and go build some solar panels. Really? Yeah. That's exactly what they have to say out there.
Nothing like a little air superiority.
Yeah, moving right along. Let's see what else is going on. Yeah, here more. I've told you this one before. So George Soros. Yeah, George Soros, last I heard, was a major shareholder in Progressive Insurance. That's where he gets a lot of his money. But he's a billionaire. Does a lot of things to see how much he can destroy the United States, but district attorneys not happy with all the liberal agendas. So there is now a lawsuit filed by the Association of Deputy District Attorneys in Los Angeles against District Attorney George Gascon. The suit accuses Mr. Gascon of illegally blocking prosecutors from pursuing enhanced sentencing in violent crimes. Now, wouldn't you expect a district attorney to want to get violent crimes slowed up or stopped? Well, Mr. Gascon is funded by my opinion, global terrorist George Soros. And, they just watch what's going on. Millions of dollars Soros has pumped into the races to help various district attorneys get onto some of these crazy agendas that they're on, and just letting anybody do whatever they want. Anarchy, unless it's in Washington, D.C., where they can put up a fence around the Capitol, but they stop building a fence around the United States. What does that tell you about politicians? Tell you they don't care about you and me. They care about themselves. They put a fence around the Capitol building to protect them from any violence, and stop building a fence around the United States to protect us from violence. How does that work? The show that must go on. Yeah, the Trump impeachment managers filed their pre-trial briefs against the former president. And again, we know this is going nowhere. Rand Paul brought before the Senate a motion to say, something, this is unconstitutional. 55 senators, that would be all the Democrats and all the rhinos, voted that it's constitutional. 45 Republicans said, no, it's not constitutional. So do you think that if they say it's not constitutional, are they going to change their mind in time when it comes to a vote to convict? Do you think they're going to vote, it's not constitutional, but I'm going to vote anyway? Don't think so. So they need 17 of them to come out and say that to convict. They need 17 Republicans, or I should say 50 Democrats, the 5 rhinos, and 12 Republicans to come out and vote to convict in order to remove President Trump from office. But what office? He's not in office anymore. So you got to wonder what the charade is, especially when you look and read what the president said and compare that to what Mad Maxine Waters said. Mad Maxine Waters was significantly worse than what President Trump said. He said peacefully march to the Capitol. Mad Maxine Waters, she basically said, get in their face, make them uncomfortable. I wonder if President Trump had said that about going to the Capitol and getting into Mad Maxine Waters' face and make her uncomfortable. What would happen then? I do not like the idea of violence. None at all. I think that's a poor way of demonstrating or trying to get your point across. Do it with a vote. It's hard to do it with a vote because now we're seeing that one of the attorney general in Pennsylvania resigned. Yeah, why did he resign? Well, basically, there's words that he didn't follow the law in the elections. So the attorney general looks like he's resigning over that. Didn't President Trump say that the law was not followed there? Wasn't that what Ted Cruz's desire was to have a panel? That people say Ted Cruz wanted to overturn the election. No, he never said that. What Ted Cruz did say was we should convene a tribunal, 5 representatives, 5 senators, and 5 Supreme Court justices to see if the law was followed, if the election was fair. Investigate, audit. That was what he said. But oh no, they don't like that idea. Moving right along, we've got a good broadcast, a great broadcast lined up for you today. We're going to talk about how you can retire comfortably using a home loan strategy. Really, retire comfortably with a home loan strategy? Yeah, we're going to do that. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Real Estate Radio is hosted by local real estate and finance expert Ron Siegel. The purpose of this show is to help consumers understand what's really going on in our local real estate market. We're teaching you the why and the how-to, so you'll always be one step ahead of everyone else. Whether you need to sell your home for top dollar, refinance and save money, or even buy a bargain in Southern California, Ron Siegel can help. Call Ron directly at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Take advantage of speaking with Ron anytime you're entering a real estate transaction. Having someone who can answer all of your questions that truly cares about you and your family's best interest is priceless. Call Ron Siegel today and you'll be glad you did. 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or you can visit realestatewithron.com for more info.
Blue Water Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Trimming of your retirement does not include losing your house. However, due to today's lower stock market, higher medical bills, and taxes, many retirees face this very problem. This is why it is necessary that you, as a baby boomer considering retirement within the next 10 years, understand reverse mortgages and what one could do for you or your parents. A reverse mortgage could make it possible for you or your parents to travel, buy a second home, or start a new business. For more information about reverse mortgages, just call our off-air number at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990, or visit realestatewithron.com and click the free workshop button.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Well, welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990, the Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next mortgage, if you're ready to do a debt consolidation loan, buy a home, refinance and save money, Geneva, they've got the programs for you. You just need to make the call. Hey, let's take a look at the Dow Jones now up 590 points. NASDAQ up 224 points. S&P 500 up 68 points. 10-year Treasury, it's up 2 basis points to 1.10. The mortgage-backed securities down 2 basis points. Right there, just call it flat. It's not a real major issue. And we're watching that because it is stuck in a trading range. So we're going to be concentrating and watching that part for you to make sure, something if you need to, if you're private clients of ours, hey, we always watch those things. What's driving this, though? We don't always, those numbers are all easily found on Google.com, if you're still using Google, if you're still allowed to. Why is this all happening? Well, CoreLogic, they released their home price index report for December, showing that home prices increased 1% during the month and 9.2% on a year-over-year basis. Significant gain from the 8.2% year-over-year number reported last month. This was the highest annual home price gain since 2014. Inventory was down 24%. So that helps a lot when there's less inventory because that means supply down, pricing and demand up, prices go up. CoreLogic forecasts that home prices will still rise 0.2% in January, but they've been forecasting minimal gains each month going forward. It seems we've been getting over 1% gains in each report. They see 2.9% appreciation in the year going forward, which is better than the 2.5% forecast in the previous report. But still, they're lower than most forecasts. Remember that not long ago, they were expecting a negative 6.6%. So they haven't got it right yet. Chief economist for CoreLogic, Frank Nothaft, gave a reason for their lower forecast. Quote, prospective sellers and with flexible timetables have opted to delay listing their home until the pandemic fades or they are vaccinated. We can expect more inventory to come available in the second half of the year, leading to slowing in price growth toward year end, unquote. Don't see that happening. The selling homes will likely need to purchase new ones, and demand for first-time home buyers is still increasing. Guess where the top states are for appreciation? Idaho, 19.1%. Indiana, 16.1%. Maine, 15.2%. The top metros, Phoenix at 13.7%. San Diego at 10.4%. Washington at 8.8%. Tomorrow, we're going to get the first of two important jobs reports, the ADP report. The bar has been set pretty low with estimates calling for about 50,000 new jobs on Friday. We get the more important BLS jobs report with estimates calling for 63,000 new jobs. Just a bit of information for you there. That is the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next loan, Geneva, they've got the programs. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990. Be happy to put you in touch with the right folks at Geneva Financial to give you all the help you need. The guidance, the strategies, because as you know, my mantra here at Ron Siegel Radio, strategy beats rate, always. So I wanted to check with you and talk to you about a strategy. And we've talked about this from time to time, and I still get a lot of questions about it. So once a quarter, twice a year maybe, we'll chat about how you can retire with a great mortgage strategy. And if you remember yesterday, we talked to Blake Portanian about pulling money out of real estate to acquire additional real estate. FINRA doesn't like us to tell you about that. But if you take money, if you liberate some of your equity, now you have to remember, home equity will get you a zero rate of return always. Zero rate of return always on home equity. And to prove that to you, I'm going to give you the statistics. If you have a home with a $500,000 home, and let's just say, and I don't want to use the exact number because it's too difficult for me to contemplate on radio, but we know that in Orange County, California, if we average out the last 61 years, real estate appreciates at 5.29%. If we look at let's just call that 5%. Can we do that because it's easy for me? So if you've got a $500,000 house that appreciates at 5%, that's going to be a $25,000 appreciation. Never happens perfectly, but I'm just using this for an example. So $500,000 house appreciates 5%, $25,000. Did you hear me say what the mortgage amount was on that? No, because it's irrelevant. If you have a mortgage, it's $25,000. If you have a 50% equity in the property, it's $25,000. If you have 100% equity, no loan at all, still $25,000. So the amount of equity you have is totally irrelevant to your home appreciation. So I'm going to tell you right here, right now, that it's zero. The equity, the appreciation in the home, the rate of return on home equity is zero. But we still know that properties appreciate at 5.29%. Now, let's contemplate what most people think about investments. If I came to you, and I'm not an investment advisor, so I do not come to you with investment advice, but if I were to chat with you about an investment that has the following features, what would you think? You can determine the amount of monthly contributions and the length of time for each of the contributions to continue. You can pay more than the minimum monthly contribution, but not less. If you attempt to pay less, the financial institution keeps all of the previous contributions. The money in the account, not liquid. So you've got an investment with a not liquid investment. The money deposited in the account is not safe from loss of principal. Each contribution made to the account results in less safety of principal. The money deposited in the account earns a 0% rate of return. I just explained that to you. So you get a 0 rate of return on the money that you deposit in the account. Hey, maybe I could go and put my money into the bank and get, oh yeah, I do. If I put my money in the bank and just a bank checking account, I do get a 0 rate of return right now. If I put my money under my pillow, yeah, I get a 0 rate of return right now, unless my wife goes and spends it, and then it's negative, so I don't even get my money back. But in any event, the money deposited in the account earns a 0% rate of return. Your income tax liability increases with each new contribution. So the more you put in, the larger your tax liability. Does that make sense? When the plan is fully funded, there is no income paid out to the investor. Do you like that investment opportunity? I suggest you probably don't like that one. You're probably not going to put a lot of money into it, but you do. That is the exact understanding of a mortgage, right? Because you're investing in a mortgage, you can determine the amount of money. You can pay more than your minimum payment. You can't pay less though. And if you pay less, if it gets foreclosed upon, your contributions go away. The money is not liquid. You cannot take money out of your mortgage. The money deposited in the account is not safe from loss. We saw in 2008 that the mortgage can go down. Doesn't happen often, but it could. Each contribution made to the account results in less safety of principal. Banks are going to foreclose on the property that has more equity than less equity. Just because, why? If there's no equity in it, do they really want it? Each contribution made to the account results in less safety of principal. The money deposited in the account earns 0. I told you about a mortgage, a 0 rate of return on home equity. And the more you pay into it, that means your interest expense is dropping, so your taxes go up. And as soon as you pay off your mortgage, you don't get any money back unless you sell the property. Here's what I like as an investment. It's liquid. I like the idea. So if I need the money, I can get it. It's safe. So maybe it's guaranteed or insured. That sounds safe to me. I like something that I can get a good rate of return. How about over the last 30 years, somewhere between 7 and 8%? Will that happen going forward? I cannot promise that, but I can tell you history. Are there any tax benefits? Yeah. Being that you are not taking income, you're borrowing, there is a tax benefit with the investment. I like that. Liquid, safe, high rate of return, and tax advantages. Can you ask for much more than that? I don't know. Maybe you have something better than that, but I like that kind of an investment. I will look for those all day long, but I'm going to tell you how to achieve it when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Want to build wealth? Buy a home this year. And yes, we've got a featured home from myfavoritelender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our offer number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Hi, we're here with Ron Siegel, the host of Real Estate Radio. Ron, welcome to the studio. Give us insight as to what your show is all about.
Hi, Eric. Thanks for having me. Thanks for asking me that question. The reason we developed Real Estate Radio is right now there is an abundance of misinformation out there. So Real Estate Radio is a show designed to give Southern California a focal point for their real estate knowledge, as well as a place to go just in case they might need anything real estate related.
So how are you helping people?
That's actually pretty simple. People need advice. So it really doesn't matter who you are. If you have any real estate questions, we're here to help. Whether you're buying a home, selling, you're experiencing a loan modification, short sale, foreclosure, there are a lot of things going on in this marketplace.
How can people get a hold of you?
Real easy. All you have to do is call. The number is 1-800-306-1990. Press option 1.
Interesting times in the market right now. Where do you think the markets are going from here?
That's a great question. All I can say is this. The housing market came down one house at a time, and what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to build it one house, one family at a time. So the best thing that anyone can do is access the free advice that we really want to give you. And to do that, you simply need to call me. The number is 1-800-306-1990, option 1. I'd really love to help.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel lending team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel lending team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, license under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Well, welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. The digest tells you what the county recorder knows about your property, what the market believes about your property. And of course, it's free. It's from your friends at Ron Siegel Radio. We've got you covered. Want to build wealth? Buy a home this year. Every year, households across the country make the decision to rent for another year or take the leap into home ownership. They look at their earnings and savings and then decide what makes the most financial sense. That equation will most likely take into consideration monthly housing costs, tax advantages, and other incremental expenses. Using these measurements, recent studies show that it's still more affordable to own than rent in most of the country. There is, however, another financial advantage to owning a home that's often forgotten in the analysis: the wealth built through equity when you own a home. Odetta Kushi, Deputy Chief Economist for First American, discusses this point in a recent blog post. She explains, quote, once you include the equity benefit of price appreciation, owning made more financial sense than renting in 48 out of the 50 top markets, with the only exceptions being San Francisco and San Jose, unquote. What has this equity piece meant to homeowners in the past? Adam Data Solutions, they're the ones that we've got this information from. Adam Data Solutions, get this for you. The curator of one of the nation's premier property databases just analyzed the typical home price gain owners nationwide enjoyed when they sold their homes. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our social channels, or on the ABC News and Talk, AM 1490 KMET video feed, you're seeing a chart right now. In 2020, home sellers nationwide realized a home price gain of $68,800 on the typical sale, the highest level in the U.S. since at least 2005. Think about that. And that's national. In Calizuela, it's probably more than that. $68,800 on the typical sale. Typical gain in the sale of the home equity has increased significantly over the last 5 years. CoreLogic, another property data curator, also weighed in on the subject. According to their latest home equity insights report, the average homeowner gained $17,000 in their, hang on, I just lost my notes here on this. Give me 1 second here. I'll bring it back up. So they gained, that's 203. Lost it there for you. So 7 major home price appreciation forecasts for 2020. And I'm going to show you these because we did talk about this a little bit in the last segment when we were talking about what CoreLogic had to say, right? And you got that information from CoreLogic on what their numbers show. But let's take a look at what some others are telling us about forecasted appreciation. Now, remember when we talk about forecasted appreciation, we don't know exactly what the numbers will mean, right? So all we do is we look at every one of the companies and we put their forecasts out there, no guarantees. So the National Association of Realtors just reported that today the median priced home in the country sells for around $310,000. Again, national, not Calizuela. If homes appreciate by 5% this year, which is the average of all those forecasts, again, you're seeing those on RonSiegelRadio.tv or any of our other social channels, the homeowner will increase their wealth by $15,490 in 2020. Now think about that. In Orange County, California, I think I've shared this number with you in the past. that we're looking at $822,000 is our median price. If that goes by 5%, $41,000 in appreciation in equity. As you make your plans for the coming year, be sure to consider the equity benefits of home price appreciation as you weigh the financial advantages of buying over renting. When you do, you may find this is the perfect time to jump into home ownership. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment. Again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest 79564. Find that dream home before someone else does. Great information on there as always. And remember, as I shared with you before, it's free. No cost. I like free. So I was telling you before the break, we talked about the investment that's called a home mortgage. And I think I demonstrated to you the concept that home equity is not all it's made out to be. We like to have equity. That's good. That's where we start. But what we need to do then is we need to have a strategy. Strategy to make that home equity work for us. So what I talked to you about in the last segment is we wanted to have that investment that's liquid, safe, high rate of return, and has some tax benefits associated with it. And again, I do not sell this product, so don't think that I'm just running out there and giving it to you, because I benefit from it personally. Yeah, I benefit from it because my goal on Ron Siegel Radio is to help you. So this is an exact scenario that I did with a family about 20 years ago. And they had a property here in Southern California. Property value was $630,000. And our plan at that time is we took out a new $504,000 mortgage, which liberated $126,000. It liberated $126,000 on that property. Now, what we have to do when we're looking at liberating that kind of money is we're constantly looking and saying, okay, where is our mortgage? What are we doing on that? And what are the costs associated? And that's where the story begins on this process, because what I want you to understand here is that money is going to be put into a safe, secure investment, the one I just talked to you about. That investment averages over the last 30 years about 8%. I am not going to use an 8% return. I'm going to use 7.2. And I did use that 5.36%. Well, actually, let me change it down, because I was using 5.36 because it was a shorter time period. Now we've got a different number. So I'm going to put 5.29%. And the numbers are going to change here, but they're going to still work out very, very nicely. So here's the concept. In the first year, we took that $126,000 and liberated it. We put it into a safe, secure, guaranteed or insured investment. And we're using a 7.2% rate of return. Remember I told you it's 8% is the average of the last 30 years. But in the first 5 years, that's going to grow. That property value, growing at 5.29%, is growing to $815,000. The mortgage, we're going to take out a new mortgage on that property, and we're going to liberate another $148,000. Now, at the 7.2%, that $126,000 grew to $178,000. That was just simple appreciation, not compound, so it'll probably be more than that. But we take that 178, we liberated 148. We've now got $350,000 in a investment. Now, what do we do with that? We could leave it in there, or we could buy more property, but here I'm just going the easy way. I'm leaving it in there. 10 years, what happens? Well, the property value, using that 5.29% appreciation, some years more, some years less, hypothetically is at $1,054,000, $1,055,000. We're going to refinance again. We're going to liberate $191,743. We're going to add that to the $252,000 that we already had. We're going to now have $495,000 in that side account. $495,000. That's after 10 years. After 15 years, we've liberated another 248. We've added it to the growing money that's in the prior accounts. That's grown up. Now we've got $973,000. 973, 15 in year 15. Are you getting an idea of what's happening here? We're continuing to grow. Every 5 years, we're taking money out of our property because it was getting a zero rate of return. And we converted that zero rate of return into a 7.2% rate of return. Now, I know you had to make a mortgage payment. We're going to talk about that in the next segment. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, we've got our featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, at Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation mortgage adoption plan. You be the judge if it's right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to map@ronsiegelradio.com or call today Ron Siegel 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporation and MLS 217037 and BCAL number 018694452.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at RonIsMyLender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
Do you believe Southern California real estate is a great investment? Are you a little short to be a cash investor? Are you missing the Social Security card or tax returns? The Siegel Lending Team has the loans for you. Common Sense Lending is back. Yes, there's a cost to higher risk, but the reward can be great. Call today for details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 217037 and DRE number 1869452.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, it's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The featured home segment today being brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. Got to get the information on getting a new loan. myfavoritelender.net. They've got all the information. That actually will get you a mobile app for your mobile device, iPad or phone or whatever, free. And it gives you all kinds of great information, including a great mortgage calculator. Figure out exactly what the mortgage would be on any property you might be considering. The featured home today, let's see if we can figure out who's got our featured home. I think, yes, indeed, it looks like it's from our friend Mike Kelly's got that property for us today. Let's see if I can find the data on it and really give you a good bird's eye view of the featured home. It's not coming up on my screen here, but there it is, 4289 East Rocky Point Road in Anaheim Hills. 4 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, located in one of the area's most prestigious neighborhoods. Sits this rare single-story home in the Rocky Point community of Anaheim Hills. Single story. I like that. Positioned on the view side of the street, offers gorgeous 180-degree views of the snow-capped mountains, city lights, and a clear view to Catalina Island and the skyline of Los Angeles. Situated on an interior 13,300 square foot lot at the end of a quiet cul-de-sac. That's where you're going to find 4289 East Rocky Point, with more than 2,021 square feet of living space. Quiet, secluded, privacy, fantastic curb appeal in a well-regarded neighborhood. All that, the price is right. It's all nines. $999,999. We call it $1 million. Mike's got this property for you. Mike Kelly, if you want information on it, give me a call. Mike and Travis. But let's take a look at some financing numbers. 10% down. It's going to cost you $3,979 principal and interest. 20% down, $3,213 principal and interest. And strategically doing a 25% down payment, $2,915. Again, principal and interest. You got to add mortgage insurance, maybe HOA dues, insurance, taxes, all that good stuff. But hey, for those of you keeping score, that's an APR of 3.59, 2.669, and 2.575. Keep the compliance people happy. NMLS 217037. Want financing on any of this property or any other property? Our friends at Geneva Financial has that for you. Get the app, myfavoritelender.net. Or if you want the property or more information on the property, that would be go to Mike Kelly and his team over at First Team Real Estate. Mike Kelly and First Team Real Estate. Great real estate professional right here in the area. Again, that is the featured home segment. So let's finish our conversation on retiring with a home loan. A lot of people don't know that they can retire on that home loan, but we went through some of the numbers in liberating money. We liberated some of that equity that we talked about in the very early part of the broadcast today that gets you a 0 rate of return. And we already talked about liberating money all the way through year 15. I'm not going to go through and give you all the other numbers. If you want all of them, you can give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. But by the time we get to year 30, so this is a strategy that's not meant for your 70-year-olds, right? It's geared for those people that are in the wealth accumulation phase of life. Could be the 33-year-old, that 33-year-old that's just getting their first house. It could be the 40-year-old, 50-year-old, because you're looking at a 30-year strategy. What do the numbers look like after 30 years? Well, 30 years, you've got, again, nothing perfect here, but we've got a property value of just under $3 million, $2,957,701. Our mortgage balance, because we've been liberating money all these years, about $1,828,000. Now, we know that we've been paying down principal, but we pull that out all the time. But in year 30, we're continuing on our same journey. We didn't take any money out of the property. We didn't liberate any money, but 5 years ago, we liberated $415,000. We liberated in total $1.8 million. I'm sorry, we didn't. I don't have that number on here, how much we liberated total. But when you add the property values, okay, we're adding up the appreciation and the property value. Good numbers right there. You're at $4 million, almost $700,000, $4,700,000. $4.7 million. That's in the side account. Now, what can you do with that? Your mortgage balance is at $1.8 million right now, by the way. So what can we do with that money? Well, anything you want to, right? So we can actually take that money and pay off the mortgage. But why would we want to? We could do that, though, because we've got enough liquidity. Remember, we talked about initially that it's a liquid investment. Now, we don't take that money out as income. We take that money out as a borrowed fund. When we borrow that, is there any tax liability when you borrow something? If you go to the local bank and borrow money from the bank, if you go and buy something on a credit card, is there tax liability when you borrow that money? We know the answer to that. But here we are. We've borrowed our money. We can borrow it again. We've got that $1,828,000, call it $1,829,000 mortgage. So think about some of these numbers. Our net worth at the end of the entire process is we're taking our liberated money, we're taking our property appreciation money, and we've got a net worth of $5.8 million. $5.8 million. So that's the liberated money, that's the property value, all of that built into one number. But 5.8 million is the number that we're looking at right there. So we're now, as we discussed, we're in the time of our life that we're looking to start saving or start using that money. We're not accumulating money anymore. We're looking at saving money now, right? Or spending that money, enjoying our lifestyle. That's where we're at right now in our journey of a lifetime. So if we take a 5% distribution, that's $19,000 a month. Now, if you remember, I told you before that the distribution that we were talking about, the money we were talking about, was growing at 7.2. So if we take 5, do we ever eat into the principal? No. So we're going to take $19,000 out of this every year for the rest of our life. We've got a mortgage payment, and I used a 6% mortgage. It's way less than that, obviously, now. But that mortgage payment is $10,233. Don't forget, there's still tax benefits to that. So our net distribution is $12,748 or $11,950 if we paid off the mortgage. So we could write a check and pay off our $1.8 million mortgage, and we have almost $12,000 a month in our distribution. Again, none of these numbers are going to work perfectly. These are all going to be imperfect numbers. They're used for educational purposes. But over a 30-year period, do you think we can assume that our rate of return is going to be similar to the last 30 years? If we look at our 30 years, do you think our appreciation on our real estate is going to be close to the last 61-year average? That's why we use long time horizons, because we're looking at these things over these same long time horizons that we talked about at the very beginning. We don't want to give you a false sense of security. That's not our mission at Ron Siegel Radio. So the idea here is if we use the same exact numbers long term as what we're seeing in the process, you're going to get the same benefit, right? That's the whole idea. We don't want you to have a differing number and not to come out with something hypothetical. We don't want to give you something that's a rosy sky type of an idea, right? I mean, I can give you all the high end, right? I could tell you that over that 30-year period, what are the best years of the rate of return on the investment. I could do that. That would be disingenuous. I'd be misleading you. I don't want to do that. I could tell you a interest rate that is today's rate, which is near all-time lows, but I didn't do that. I used a much higher interest rate. I used a $10,000 a month interest rate with a 6% mortgage. If we just drop that down to 4.5%, that payment drops $1,000 a month. So we're still looking at this distribution right here, and we're still looking at, hey, $12,000 a month distribution for you for the rest of your life. Think about that concept. That's what we're trying to educate here, is by using a strategy, you can come out with some very, very significant numbers. And that's what I share with you on Ron Siegel Radio at all times. Strategy, it beats rate always. How do I prove that? Is I used a 6% interest rate on this whole scenario. And you know that you can get an interest rate way below that, half of that. Think about it. Potentially. I'm not saying you can get half. I'm just saying potentially you're right around half. But as always, I ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Tides that I tried to swim against